So there's this new trend popping off on YouTube Shorts and TikTok that features talking babies, and it's pulling in millions of views. This particular video literally hit 33 million views in just 2 days after being posted. And at first glance, the videos might seem incredibly hard to create. But what if I told you there's a new secret AI tool that can create these talking videos in just seconds? Now, in this video, I'm going to walk you through how regular people running these faceless accounts are using this strategy to make a full-time income. I am literally going to guide you step by step on how to build your own brand, come up with unlimited video ideas, and how to use existing audios or even create your own. Basically, I'm covering everything you need to know about this niche start to finish. To make everything way easier and give you all the tools you need, I've put together a Google Doc that's packed with all the prompts and tools for this niche. If you want it, just drop a comment and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. All right, so the first step in this whole process is grabbing your model video. You'll want to hop on YouTube and pick out any podcast or clip you vibe with. For this example, I'm going to search for Joe Rogan and look for one of his most viral clips, something spicy or a bit controversial. Now listen closely. This is the third time YouTube has taken this video down for some kind of violation, so I can't go into too much detail here, but here's the move. Source your audio from TikTok instead. It's way easier and safer. Just go to TikTok, find any audio or video you like, even podcast clips, and download the video format directly from there. Trust me, TikTok is the safer route. Now, once you've got your audio, we need visuals. For this, we're going to create a baby version of both Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. So for that, we're heading to our Google document. Now, on the Google document, you'll see a few editable prompts. Anywhere you see red lines, that's where you'll swap in your own words. So you can reuse the prompt as many times as you want. You'll also see demo prompts showing what it should look like once it's filled in. With this prompt, you can create two types of images, baby versions of real celebrities or brand new baby characters from scratch. I'm going to copy the demo prompt I already filled out for Joe Rogan and Donald Trump, but you can use any character you like. Just make sure to fill out the red marked spots in the prompts above. Once you copy your prompt, we're going to use ChatGPT for this part. Just paste the prompt into GPT, then click on the tools ChatGPT offers, select the Create an Image tool so it knows exactly what you're trying to make. The image generation should take around 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how busy ChatGPT's server is. Once it's done, if you'd like the image, just go ahead and download it. If not, you can ask it to resize, rerun it, or even generate a new one with a different aspect ratio. It's totally up to you. Now, once the baby version of your first character, in our case, Trump, is ready, you'll need to generate the baby version of the second person in the clip. For us, that's Joe Rogan. So I'm just going to repeat the whole process. The first version of baby Joe Rogan it gave me wasn't really it. So I asked it to rerun the image and give me a 1:1 box ratio instead with Joe Rogan written on the baby's shirt. Now we've got our images featuring both characters from the podcast, and we've also got our audio clip. Next, we need to trim the audio so we can separate Joe Rogan's part from Donald Trump's part. This step can be a bit tricky, so what I did was download the video version of the clip to make the editing clearer. You can use any tool to clip your audio, but I'm going to use CapCut since it's easy to access and works for everyone. Now, if you got just the audio clip, simply import it into CapCut's editing library to start your session. Since I downloaded the full video clip instead, I'm going to trim it as clearly and accurately as I can to separate the parts I need. This interview is about 2 hours long, so I'm just going to play through it and look for parts where something controversial or rage bait worthy was said. Once I find those moments, I'll trim them down and make a clean cut. Once you make that clean cut, all you got to do is trim out the other parts and leave just one character. For example, Joe Rogan. I'm just going to clip out everything else and keep only his part. Then I'll export that section as an audio file. Just make sure to select the audio only option when exporting in CapCut. This method would give you the first line in your podcast. Once you've exported that first audio clip, go back to the same timeline in CapCut and hit the reverse button. What that does is restore the clip you just trimmed out. Now you'll need to crop forward, basically cut out the part you already exported since you don't need it anymore. Now you need to crop section B, which is basically the next part of the podcast, Donald Trump's section. Since you've already trimmed and saved Joe Rogan's part, now just crop from where Donald Trump starts talking. This way you'll have both parts of the conversation separated and ready to use. Now repeat the same process. Export Donald Trump's part in audio format so it saves to your computer. Then go back to your timeline and restore the full clip again. Now crop the third version, which is Joe Rogan's next reply. And keep repeating this process as many times as you'd like so you get multiple audio clips of the back and forth convo. It might sound a little complex, but trust me, this is the simplest way I could break it down so anyone can follow along. Okay, now that we finally have our audio files and our baby character images, it's time to animate the images so they lip sync with the audio. For this, we're going to be using Hydra AI. Now, if you've made it this far in the tutorial, make sure to hit that like button. This took a lot of time to put together, so think of it as your little way of saying thanks for the value shared in this tutorial. Now just head over to the Hydra AI website and sign up using your Google account. They usually give you around 300 free credits when you sign up, so you'll be able to test things out and get a feel for the platform before deciding whether or not to get the full subscription. Once you sign up on Hydra, you'll see an interface like this. Click on the video feature. That'll take you to a new screen. At the bottom, you'll see a prompt box, and just above it, there are a few editable settings like aspect ratio, video quality, and other options. On the right-hand side of the prompt box, you'll see spots where you can upload your script and the image you want to animate. Now just upload the image of the first character you're working with. For us, that's baby Joe Rogan. Next, upload the first audio file, which should be Joe Rogan's voice. Make sure to label your audio files clearly when exporting from CapCut so it's easier to keep track. Now for the prompt box, you can either type in what you want or just leave it blank. I've found that even leaving it empty still gives pretty accurate results, especially since we're just doing lip syncing. The AI mostly focuses on syncing the voice to the image, so the prompt isn't super necessary for this step. Now, as you can see, the output looks super cool. If it doesn't feel right, just rerun it. It usually gets it right though. Now, go ahead and download Joe Rogan's part, then upload Donald Trump's baby image and his audio for the next part so it can lip sync his reply. Now, just keep repeating this same process, uploading the matching baby image and audio for each line until you've got the full back and forth conversation animated. Doesn't matter how long the podcast is, just follow the steps. This can be anywhere from 6 to 20 lines, depending on how long you want your final video to be. Just follow the process step by step. For line 1, upload the baby image of the character speaking and their audio. Then for line 2, do the same with the next character's baby image and their audio. Keep going like this for line 3, line 4, line 5, and so on, uploading the matching baby image and audio for every line. After you've uploaded and animated every single line, now it's time to import all those clips. For this tutorial, I'm using CapCut to put my clips together. I only have 4 clips since it's just a demo, but don't worry, I'll also show another way to edit these videos later in this same tutorial. This method is super simple and easy. I'm basically stacking my clips on top of each other. Normally I'd put them all on one timeline, lined up close to each other for a smooth flow. But since this is a podcast, we're editing it like a real convo. So some of Joe Rogan's audio overlaps as Donald Trump starts talking. In order to get that overlapping effect where Donald Trump starts talking just as Joe Rogan is finishing. You got to place the clips right at the edge of each other. It's like they're answering back to back without pause. This is the simplest and cleanest way to edit, especially if you're working with straightforward podcast clips. Now, since I'm aiming for a super short video, I just use 4 clips. If you're making a longer, more engaging video, you might use like 10 to 20 clips. I'm also adding a vignette effect to darken the edges and throwing in captions. These aren't required, but they really level up the video's quality and vibe. After adding captions, I like to customize them by using a template and then tweaking the words and colors to fit my style. Adding your own personal touch is key. It's smart to develop a signature editing style or trademark so your videos stand out and people can recognize them easily. Once you've got everything set up and looking good, the last step is to export your video. Just click on export or render, choose the settings you want, and avoid exporting in low quality. It's better to export it in good quality first and then upscale later if needed. Now, for the Joe Rogan and Donald Trump results, it should look something like this.
Who becomes the vice president, who runs for president, becomes the vice president, and then all of a sudden the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and there's all these people paying attention. A lot of people clam up.
Kamala's a very low IQ person. She's a very low IQ. I'm for taking tests too. I think anybody that runs for president should give them tests. And it's not an age thing. It's not based. If you look back on history, 70s and 80s, some of your greatest leaders in the world history.
All right, now let's switch things up a bit. The next video I'm about to make is going to be just like this.
I barely look passable right now. I'm shocked Becca even likes me.
Me too, dude.
What was that?
What?
Me too what?
No, I'm like saying like, yeah, you're right. I'm like I'm on your side.
You're on my side with what?
With whatever you're saying. I'm like being supportive of you.
Like, me too, like you think I'm disgusting.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, I'm saying whatever you said is right. I'm with you. That's what I said.
No, because I said I am shocked that my wife still finds me attractive.
Correct. That's what you said.
Why did you say me too?
Because I'm supporting you. I'm your friend.
That's not something you're supposed to support me. The opposite there.
No, because then I wouldn't be supporting you. I would just be like,
no, you're supposed to say, yeah, you're a good-looking guy. You still got something left in you.
No, I want to be supportive of your idea.
For this method, we're switching things up a bit with how we find our audio and how we edit to put everything together. But don't worry, the rest of the steps are pretty much the same as before. Now, when it comes to getting our audio, I know the first way we did it isn't for everyone. So if you want to create your own original stories and podcast clips, you will need to use Google Notebook LM. It's a free tool that turns anything into a podcast. Plus, you get full rights to whatever you create, and you can make up to 20 minutes of voiceover with this audio generator. Here's how Notebook LM works. You give it a source. This could be a Google Doc, a PDF, a YouTube video link, a Reddit thread, or pretty much anything with info. There are tons of ways you can use to source your whole podcast. What Notebook LM does next is it scans the web, checks out the file or link you sent, understands the info, and then creates a live back and forth conversation between two people about that topic. For example, I'm going to grab a Reddit thread from a subreddit, just something random, copy the link and paste it into my Google Notebook LM prompt area. Then it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to analyze the whole thread and creates a convo between a male and female based on that content. Once you paste your document or link and it finishes analyzing, it shows you a preview, a quick breakdown of what the podcast convo will cover. If you like what you see, just hit the blue generate button on the right side to create the full podcast. You can do this with PDFs, videos, or pretty much anything, and it'll turn it into a podcast style chat. Just preview it, and if you like what you hear, download it. You can run it 1,000 times or create unlimited voiceovers because it's totally free and open source. Just give it a link or document, and it turns the info into a podcast style chat. All right, so the audio came out around 8 minutes long. You'll need to chop it up, split the parts where the male speaker talks from the female speaker. Even if it's just 2 male speakers, you still want to separate them by labeling each part, like audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, and so on. This way, it's way easier to find and work with clips later. For this, you'll use an audio editing tool like the one I'm showing you now. It's great for trimming and cutting. Just listen for when the first speaker starts, cut the clip when they finish, then do the same for the second speaker. Keep going like that, just like we did before. Now, for the baby pictures, we're going to do it just like we did with Trump and Rogan. We'll use our prompt with ChatGPT, but instead of picking other celebs, we'll create new baby images from scratch. There's an editable prompt in the Google Doc with red text where you can change stuff like the baby's ethnicity, what the baby's wearing, the background, hair color, mic color, basically anything. When you update the prompt, it'll create exactly the kind of baby image you want. If you like the image, go ahead and download it. If it's not your vibe, just rerun it or ask for something different. And if you want to make changes or customize anything, just tell ChatGPT. She'll handle it like a pro. Now just head over to Hydra AI and repeat the whole process. Upload your image. Then upload the audio file. If the audio is too long, you'll need to trim it a bit since free users only get about 20 seconds. Just keep repeating this step until you've animated all your video clips. Remember to label your clips in order like audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, just to make sure this process is done correctly. Now, once all that's done, head over to CapCut to start editing and piecing everything together. For this project, you'll end up with much longer clips since it's a more intuitive convo. There's a lot of back and forth between both characters, so the flow naturally stretches out a bit more. So editing this might be a little tricky. What you need to do is keep adjusting each clip. When the first character asks a question, drop in the second character's reply and slide it right into place on the timeline. Now, if you're working with a fast 1-minute clip where the convo is super quick and hard to crop, here's what I do to make it easier. Just split the audio into 3 parts, so 20 seconds each. That gives you audio 1, audio 2, and audio 3. Then animate both characters using each of those 3 parts. So for audio 1, you animate baby 1 and baby 2 separately with the same audio, and then do it for the next 2 or remaining audio. Since you've got just 3 audio clips and 2 characters, you'll end up with 6 video clips in total. That's because you'll animate baby 1 with all 3 audios and baby 2 as well with all 3 audios. Now, here's the thing. Each video clip you animate will include both characters' lines in a single clip. So for example, baby 1 will say both their own line and baby 2's line in one clip, and vice versa. That's because both babies were animated using the same 3 audio clips. So now you'll need to go through and crop out any parts that aren't in the character's voice. Basically, trim out the lines that don't match their tone, so each baby only says their own part. Then you'll fill in those gaps with the correct baby's clip. This way, the final edit shows each baby only speaking their actual lines, just like a real conversation. Now, what I just explained might sound a little tricky, but if it's confusing, just drop me a comment and let me know. I'll be happy to make another video in my Telegram group or break it down for you as clearly as possible right here in the comments. I am just going to speed up the cropping process since it usually takes around 15 to 20 minutes. Once you're done with cropping, one more thing you can add is the vignette effect. It darkens the edges and helps draw attention straight to the character. You can also add captions if you want, but I'm keeping it simple this time and just exporting the video as it is. Once everything looks good and feels right, just go ahead and export your clips. Make sure to export in 720p, since that's the resolution Hydra generated the clips in. You can always upscale it later for better quality if you need to.
I barely look passable right now. I'm shocked Becca even likes me.
Me too, dude.
What was that?
What?
Me too what?
No, I'm like saying like, yeah, you're right. I'm like I'm on your side.
You're on my side with what?
With whatever you're saying. I'm like being supportive of you.
Like, me too, like you think I'm disgusting.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, I'm saying whatever you said is right. I'm with you. That's what I said.
No, because I said I am shocked
Right.
that my wife still finds me attractive.
Correct. That's what you said.
Why did you say me too?
Because I'm supporting you. I'm your friend.
That's not something you're supposed to support me. The opposite there.
No, because then I wouldn't be supporting you. I would just be like,
No, you're supposed to say, yeah, you're a good-looking guy. You still got something left in you.
no, I want to be supportive of your ideas.
That's not supportive. You're doing the opposite of support.
I feel like we've gotten off to the wrong foot here.
My opinion there was self-deprecating.
Right.
I put myself down, not only because it's funny, but because it's how I feel.
But if you're down and I'm with you, I'm down with you. You know what I'm saying? You're not alone down.
I appreciate it, but also I think you're being mean.